I think all those things like devotionals, rosaries, don't get me wrong, they're all beautiful and they're all like mediums to go deeper with the Lord, unless you put them in the place of the Lord, right? Like going to the idol making factory, right? Like, are we just praying repetition to pray repetition? Are we just saying the rosary to say the rosary? Are we entering in? So I think the beauty of like prayers like that. So like I think of one of the OG prayers of the Eastern Church, the Jesus prayer, which is Jesus, Son of the living God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And I remember one of my professors in college, Dr. Chad Gerber, one of the holiest men I've ever met, he would say the point of the Jesus prayer is to stop saying the Jesus prayer. Because the point of the Jesus prayer is to enter so deeply into it that your gaze is just fixed on him. And I think the rosary is the same way. Like, I know, like when I pray the rosary, man, it's a good rosary if I lose my place because I'm focused on him. Yeah. And I'm like, and I have to come back to be like, all right, Jesus, I'm on this decade. Right? Because that's the beauty. Like Mary wants to lead you to Jesus in that prayer. Like that's the whole point. And like if your gaze is caught on him, that's the whole point of prayer. Yeah. Like that's literally like the gaze of Jesus is the point of prayer. And like abiding in that gaze, right? 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says, pray without ceasing, right? You can't just sit there and say Hail Marys under your breath for all eternity. You can't just sit there and say Our Fathers under your breath for all eternity. Like praying without ceasing is living a life abiding in the Father so that everything you do comes from overflow from your relationship with him. It's like every conversation, every private motive, everything you do comes from the overflow of your relationship with the gaze of Jesus.
And finding that gaze. Like it's like open, like I said, like just taking the book out of your face and just like looking, being there. And like I love that you mentioned like Mary bringing us to Jesus. So that's like a lot of big hang-ups for like a lot of people, and especially Protestants. And I don't think so. I know Chosen. I'm really getting a lot out of Chosen. I'm so happy I started watching it. But I don't think the Protestants realized what they did when they like put Mary in Chosen. She had to be there. But there's probably one of the most. There's two scenes that are so profound to me about like Mary's love and how she brings us to God. Yeah. And the most impactful one was when Mary Magdalene reverted back to sin, like I mentioned earlier. And she was so ashamed that she didn't even want to go to Jesus' tent. She didn't want to go to Jesus. You know who brought her to Jesus? Mary. Right? Obviously, that probably didn't happen exactly like that. But that symbolism, that imagery there was so powerful. Yeah. And she stood there the whole time with her and held her as she was with Jesus. I'm like, do you guys realize what you just did? Like wow, that's so profound, and they have no idea. I was like that made me cry. I'm like this is just so beautiful. She loves us so much, and when she just looks at
Okay, so I definitely think with Jonathan Rumi, there's like a slight Catholic connection. Not like
I think he is Catholic.
He is Catholic. I think he is, right? Because like, he's always in those YouTube ads.
Yeah, the Halloween.
Shout out those YouTube ads with Mark Wahlberg, where they're like, stop for a moment.
Yeah.
And then Mark Wahlberg is like, I'm with Jesus.
Yeah, like, get prayed up.
Right? Get prayed up. I love that phrase, dude. I love that.
Yeah. But having that ability, like I was talking to another one of my buddies about Chosen. It's been on my heart really, and he's scared to watch it because he doesn't want to like conflate that for like fact and everything that happens for fact. And I can totally understand that. Like it's hard to like look at like Jonathan Rumi or Jim Caviezel and not just see that is Jesus. Like because we did never like physically, and unless you're blessed to physically see Jesus. But it's really cool. Like as humans, we need that representation.
Absolutely.
Because we're so engulfed in our phones and everything else that we just having that imagery is just beautiful to be there, and it's a gift. Yeah. And for him to be Catholic and being the lead role, obviously being Jesus, he has a lot of say in a lot of the stuff. Yeah. And it's I think that if that show's already bringing so many people to Christ. Yeah. And it's just going to take for people to Christ straight to Catholicism, straight to the church that God made. Yeah. And it's I don't think the Protestants realize like they're playing with fire, fire of the Holy Spirit. Fire of the Holy Spirit. They're so close. We were talking upstairs. A lot of Protestants are believing in the Eucharist. Yeah. Like, then you mentioned like what 70% of Catholics don't believe in the Eucharist, like, and like now you're like you believe more than most Catholics. Like you do realize what you're doing.